How'd you feel Saturday out there in the action you were able to have?
It was good. Always good to just get out there, shake the rust off, get back in the flow of what it feels like to play in the game. So I was happy. It's crazy. You get all warmed up and all ready to go, and then they tell you, "Are you done?" Like, damn, I want to keep playing, but that's the preseason though. So.
Was it good to kind of recover at the end of that first drive and get the stop after a little bit of a rough start?
Oh, for sure. Like I said, a lot of it is just getting back in the rhythm of a game. First time actually competing against somebody other than our offense in a while. So, like I said, just getting back in the rhythm. And we got a team full of vets, guys that made plays and stuff like that. So I knew once we settled in, even on that first drive, we was understood. All right, let's settle in, let's lock in. It was good. It was good feeling to have that red zone stop too. So. Always builds confidence.
It's been a couple of weeks of training camp, so what's it like for you to get the joint practices and a chance to go against somebody else?
Oh, man, I'm really looking forward to it. Joint practice is always my favorite part of training camp, just because I feel like it's really the only time you really get to, hone your skills against somebody outside of the building. It's a little different when you're going against, JT, Naeem. Obviously, we push each other all year, but those are your guys, so you want to take care of them to an extent. These other guys, I don't care. So, you really get better, so that's the way.
Watch any tape? Will you look at the lines at all a little bit before this?
I've come to learn over the years that you should check them out just a little bit. You want to go in blind, but honestly, just it's the preseason still. It's still just practice, so you kind of want to just feel the looks and kind of go after, because no matter how much scouting you do, you're always going to go against some unscouted looks. So it's not really that big of a deal. So.
Coach Bradley has talked a lot about banked experiences, and he thinks you guys are going to get a lot of them against the Lions. How do you think that's going to help you as you guys kind of settle into this defensive scheme?
Oh, man, I think it's going to be good. I mean, obviously, practicing against the Lions, putting ourselves in situations is going to be adversity regardless. They're going to create adverse situations. And, Coach Bradley talks a lot about, those type of times really helping us gel and, like I said, build confidence as a team. So the faster we can get put to the fire, the faster, we can kind of mold our defense into what we want it to be. So.
If you guys are in individuals or in the meeting room, what's it like having Cato?
Oh, man, I love having Cato in there. It's such a unique perspective, from a guy that not only played at a high level, kind of came out the mud, I think he was 6th-round draft pick to a Pro Bowl player, Super Bowl champ. And the fact that he did it here, obviously is always a good feeling. But then when you got a former player in your room that's played for a time, he could just give you that perspective outside of the X's and O's. Like, look, this is what the books say. This is what the coaches are telling me to tell you. But look, I know what it feels like to be in that situation when I competed against guys like that. Because when coaches, a lot of times that that haven't played, they don't know what it's like to go against a Naeem. They don't know what it's like to go against a guy that's really got these certain type of skill sets and how to really beat those type of guys. So Cato definitely brings a great perspective. So.
It seems like there's been a lot of growth in the pass rush area. I know you're kind of watching them, but how does that affect the defense as a whole, and how much does that excite you as a linebacker for that you have that pressure up front?
Oh, no question. When the guys up front going to get the QB, it's just everything works together. When they're going to get it, it makes you want to cover that much better because, for one, you ain't have to cover that long. And then, two, it's either they're going to get the sack or the quarterback going to throw the ball where he ain't supposed to throw it. And there ain't no yo-yo on it. So once they let it go, it's mine now. So that's how it works.
What's been the biggest adjustment this year with the change in scheme?
I'll really probably just say terminology. For the most part, I think, Coach Bradley and our former staff was similar families, so it's some similarities. But I would just say, when you got a new system, it's making sure everybody's speaking that same language. So what we might call something or what he might call something, it's the same thing. We just calling it something different. So getting our new language onto their language so we all speaking the same thing is just probably the biggest adjustment.
How's Shaquille holding up?
Oh, man, he frustrated, bro. He was upset. I already knew who he was. I know he missed being on the road and just being in the pre-game routine. And, I know it kills him to be out there, not to be out there with the guys. But I keep telling him, man, get right so you ain't got to get right no more. So, we definitely can't wait to have him back, knowing he's doing everything possible in his power to, get back as fast as possible. Every morning I see him in there working on the field and doing different things, trying to get back. So I know he's chopping at the bit to get back, but he's going to be back in due time for sure.
What have you seen from EJ in his plays?
Just a growth and confidence, It's always good to see Speed, just, stepping up and making good plays. I mean, I love seeing Speed play, man. It turned me up. When Speed make the play, I'm on the sideline, I'm turning him up. He turning up on the field, so it's lit. So Speed, that's my boy, man. It's always great to see him. The athletic ability and just the different plays he can make is always a bonus on the field, so for sure.
Was an example of that the hit that he put on Duke Johnson?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, when you got a guy like Speed out there, don't drop nothing in the flat like it's easy like that because it's dangerous out there. So don't do that.
How impressed were you with Weatherford's performance Saturday?
Oh man, I was happy for him, man. I know what that means, to make a big play. Obviously, a little slower start in camp, but definitely getting that ball rolling. Like I told him, it's a marathon, not a sprint. And like I said, I was happy to get that play, but I told him that I was like, listen, man, the thing about the preseason in the NFL, for the most part, you got to do it again. You got to keep putting it on tape because, look, ain't nobody going to be talking about this next week. So you got to keep making plays. But I was definitely happy to see him make that play. I know it meant a lot to him. I know it's just a confident booster for him, something to build on. So that was awesome.
When you think of your career arc, do you look at some of these young guys who are not names and have a feeling for them and what they're going through?
Oh, no question. And I feel like especially dealing with guys like Sterling, Forrest, JoJo, James, all the young LBs, even the young guys in other rooms. I always just try to get them the game that either that I wish I got or the old heads gave me when I was there, in their position. Just about taking care of your body, taking advantage of your opportunities and really just believing in yourself. A lot of times when you the guy that's not a name and nobody really cares, you kind of just feel like you just a ghost in the room. But just keep chucking your opportunity going to come, and look, you got to make the plays that come to you, just like my boy Sterling. So
what have you personally looked at and focused on throughout the offseason and training camp to improve and grow your game?
For me, it's just really just trying to be more of a playmaker, and that just making more plays on the ball. Really, my coverage. I know it's definitely dealing in the spring. Coach Bradley was going to put me in a lot more positions, of man-to-man coverage. So that's just something I've really been focusing on. Pretty much all off season. Getting at the ball and stuff like that. So because 5-3 will show you getting that ball out, get you paid. So that's all I'm worried about. So for sure. So.
Mike, just what's it like to finally be back out here and able to practice?
It feels pretty good, getting back in the groove of things. The team is looking pretty well. I'm feeling great, and we have a good momentum moving forward.
What did you have to have done on your knee?
I actually had surgery on my knee, like a scope actually. I had a torn meniscus, so getting back and getting better from that.
When did that happen?
It happened in OTAs a few months back in the spring, so yeah.
What's the road like coming back? What's this journey been like so far?
It's been a long journey, a long process. I've embraced the process, been working each and every day. But like I said, it's been long, and I'm glad to be back.
No doubt that you can come back fully?
Pardon me?
No doubt that you can come back and have an impact?
Definitely. I believe that 100%. That's my goal, to come back and be able to have a big impact on my team and be able to help them, win moving forward.
Do you currently have any restrictions on the knee area at all?
No restrictions at all. It feels great. I'm even running routes today feels great, plotting and coming out of routes, so feeling pretty smooth.
Mike, when you're doing your rehab and watching, are you thinking, boy, I'm missing valuable time?
I have been thinking that, but I was just playing my role, doing what I can for the team. It wasn't my time yet, and I didn't want to come back too early. For me to be out here, I want to be out here at 100%. So that was just my goal, to come back and be 100%.
It seems like you're coming back at a really good time with the Lions coming into town. How helpful is it going to be able to kind of accelerate your camp time by having another team to go against?
I'm excited that they're coming in, actually. It's going to be big time. It's going to be a lot of, competition. I'm excited. I love to compete. So I'm ready for them.
Do you feel more comfortable with the adjustments and stuff you have to make in the offense this year?
I feel a lot more comfortable. The coaching staff is doing a great job, breaking it down, the details. I feel really good about it.
You didn't really hesitate. Are you trusting that knee already? Do you have confidence in it?
My biggest thing is, I can't be out there running half speed. So I'm just, going full go, running, 100%, doing whatever I can do.
How much were you not thinking when you were out there today? Sometimes you can overthink it, but you've done it your entire life. So what was it like just not think for a second?
A while back, when I was younger, I used to overthink things. But now, I'm just full go, 100% focused. I don't overthink. I just go out there and do what I can do.
What's your biggest area of concern or improvement you want to make this year?
Improvement-wise, I just basically want to, play a bigger role for the team. Be out there making plays for my team, helping my team, contributing and helping my team win.
Mike, you had those roles last year, week 1 and week 2, and then your playing time tapered off. Why do you think it tapered off after those first 2 weeks?
I'm not sure why. It's like Coach always said, being for the team, and that's what I did. It wasn't my time at the time, so I just took a step back and did whatever the coaches told me.
You think helping out on special teams is going to be
100%. That's going to be a big role for me. Talking with Coach Joe and Coach Bubba, they're really bringing me along in special teams, so excited about that.
What's it been like working with Reggie Wayne so far? How much have you gotten out, even just mental reps
Oh,
and
yeah.
conversations?
It's been amazing. Even talking with him one-on-one, he's one of the greats. In my book, he's a Hall of Famer. So just listening to what he says, even the details, the route running, the catching, just little things, I like to listen to, his routine. I like to see what he does, because he did it before. So I look up to him.
You look really active on the field even while not practicing. So what was your mentality while you were out here? You couldn't practice, but what was your mindset going through that?
My mindset was my mindset is just, to dominate, just to come out here and be a beast that I am, to be honest with you. Just come out here and use my strengths, use my size, my speed to my advantage.
Any DB you were really looking forward to going against?
Gilly, that's my guy. He's a certified vet. He's been in the league for a long time, and I learned a lot from him. Actually, I've had a lot of conversations with him, and asking him how we do certain things, what's his read, what he likes to look at before the snap. So that's helped me a lot, and I'm excited to go against him.
What are the things that you've been particularly paying attention to or working on throughout the offseason when you haven't been injured?
For me, I just took a mental approach. I couldn't really do that much physically, but I wanted to stay in the book, stay, watching film. So just stay ahead mentally.
How's it been like working with Matt Ryan so far, and what have you learned from him or from Nick Foles as well?
Those two guys, those guys are, guys who are great leaders. Matt Ryan, he comes in every day, great leader. He's somebody, I could look up to. So whatever he says, I'm all in, I'm listening, because he's been there before. So it's been great being and playing under him.
What have the other guys in the offensive line room meant to you so far through your rookie training camp, like Hugh, Kelly, Braden Smith, even Matt Pryor?
They've been all tremendous so far. I learn from them every single day. And not just football things, but also just how to be a pro and how to act outside of, the football facilities. Because they're all great football players, obviously, but you knew that. But they're also really great guys, too. Sitting with them in dinner and then going over practice and what I could have done differently and what I could improve on and stuff. They really try to help me out every day, and it's definitely a huge factor in my improvement.
How do you think the first preseason game went for you?
It was definitely a fun experience for me to play an NFL game. It was undescribable actually, but a lot to learn from. Made some mistakes that aren't acceptable. So you go over the film over and over again. You learn from your mistakes, and you make sure they never happen again. You just get better for the next time.
Do you have some areas though you felt like you improved on from practices to the game?
Yeah, definitely. It's the little details, and as I mentioned earlier over there, it's just the fact that the NFL is unforgiving. Like you take one wrong step, and the guy in front of you makes the play. So it's a little bit different in college, where sometimes you can make up for it. But here it's just you have to be perfect on your assignment and every little detail. So that's something I just need to keep working on, keep improving, and that's what we'll be practicing.
How helpful do you think that having the Lions in town will be for your development as you try to work on those little things?
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I've never practiced against another team, so I think that's going to be a huge experience, much more game-like, and you get to go against some other guys, some new defensive ends, and I'm looking forward to it. Obviously, they have a good team up there, and especially their D-line is going to be really good this year. So I'm looking forward to the competition.
Growing up in Austria, how far away did this seem?
Yeah, when I first started playing football, I watched the NFL. I went to London to watch the Vikings play the Steelers, and it looked awesome, and I wanted to play it, but back then it really seemed like a little too far out of reach. It seemed like a dream. And back then, really playing a year of high school football, I thought that was going to be the coolest thing, because I get to play under Friday Night Lights. I get to play in front of a marching band, and like the whole town would come out. But then coming over here, and then you kind of realize that if you just work hard, then college can be in reach too. So it's always been a dream, but it kind of happened step by step for me to all the way to up here.
Are there Austrian media following you at all? Following your path here?
Yeah, a little bit. They reach out every once in a while. I think 2 weeks ago we even had someone here. They did a little report, so that's always cool. I mean, I try to get the game more and more popular over in Austria too, because there's so many talented guys over there that would have a chance if they just get more exposure. So I think the game is growing every single year over there, and I think I'm just going to try to keep pushing that.
Just real quick, as a kid, what sports were you interested in?
I mean, growing up in Austria, you're obviously interested in soccer, and then all the winter sports like snowboarding, skiing, and hiking and beach volleyball. So you never really, when I grew up, I didn't really see or hear much about football. They didn't have football in free TV back then, but even that's changing. So I think this year they're bringing 2 or 3 NFL games each weekend, which is huge. I mean, I wish I had that growing up. We always had to either watch the highlights on YouTube or log on to my coach's NFL Game Pass to watch the games. So I think it's improving every single year, and more people are playing football.
Is there an area of your game you're trying to improve on the most with the rest of the preseason and training camp?
Yeah, I mean, for me, there are different areas to improve on. And in the run game, just keep working at pad level, trying to get underneath guys, and really dig them out of holes, and make a path for the running back. And then in the pass game, just keep working on my hands, keep improving my punch. And that's just one of the little things that I've been working on.
Do you have a moment of solitude after that preseason game to be like, I actually did it? Like, this thing that was so far off is real now?
Yeah, I didn't really think about it traveling there and everything, but coming out to warm-ups for the first time and running out in that stadium, that's when it really hit me that this is something I dreamt about for so many years now, and it was an unbelievable feeling, and I was just so thankful to get the opportunity, and yeah.
If you had to take one lesson from this game to add to your next game, what is that?
It's the details. Just keep improving on the single first step, because that could really cost you or win you the rep. So that's just something I want to keep improving on and keep working on.
Hi, we're back here at Grand Park after the Colts' first preseason game for day 11 of Colts practice. This one was kind of light. Only went an hour and 10 minutes because they're getting ready for the Lions to come in tomorrow. 2 days, the most intense practices of camp. The Lions aren't necessarily a team that you would think of as a big test, but just having a different team in here is a big deal.
No doubt about that. I mean, if you're watching Hard Knocks right now and the Lions are on it, you'll see they're pretty gritty, scrappy team. That's the team I covered a couple years ago, but they're a little different now under Dan Campbell. But he's intense, and I expect them to be pretty intense out there. And even guys are ready for it. They're just ready for something different, both schematically, the looks they're going to get, but also just the intensity. It's hard to go against the same guys every day. It's different to go against new opponents, form little rivalries over 2 days. Zaire Franklin even joked today that he has to always be careful with Jonathan Taylor and Naheem Hines. Those are their guys. They don't want to get them hurt. And he said those other guys that we're going to face, I don't care so much about them.
Yeah, I don't know if you did watch Hard Knocks and you saw Aaron Glenn and Deuce Staley going back and forth trash talk. I don't know if we're going to get that. Marcus Brady said he wasn't sure if he was going to trash talk. I think it's in him. I think he's got it in him. He said it would come out on the basketball court, but I think it's in him. We'll see what happens. It'll be fun. We'll try to split it up. We've got 2 of us there, so Nate will watch one field. I'll watch the other field. We'll try to bring you guys as much as we can from what are generally the 2 most revealing practices of camp, and they really matter this week because the starters will not play on Saturday. So what they do the next 2 days, that's this week's information for us. So we're gonna throw a lot at it and really pay attention.
Yeah, and it's interesting the way it'll divide up because the starters aren't going to play on Saturday, and then Jonathan Taylor's not playing at all in the preseason, but he's doing these joint practices. So this will be really the best look we've really probably gotten of what this first team offense looks like against somebody else, even if it's practice setting, but it'll be 11 on 11, and then that's where you just so curious about the intensity levels and the health of guys. I mean, I understand why they want to use these joint practices to get Taylor sort of the conditioning to go into the season, but there's obvious risk there too. So I'll be curious to see how they manage that.
typically under Frank Reich, it depends on the opposing team. Is really what it depends on, whether or not there's fights here. When the Browns were here, there was a ton of fights. When Carolina was here last year, there really wasn't much of anything. I mean, there'll be a couple of scuffles. There was a couple of scuffles last year. It kind of depends on the Lions. The Colts would like to get as much work done in these practices as possible, and big fights take away from that. So we'll see. We'll find out what the Lions want to do. For the IndyStar, I'm Joel Erickson. This is Nate Atkins.